a good week for America.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's also a good week for America when we get to say good morning to Corny Koehl of the Thorn in the USA podcast. Get it?
Yeah, Thorn.
Thorn in the USA.
Get it? Get it?
Corny, we first of all, we just talked a little bit off air. We have 1 degree of separation. You were the executive producer for Oprah, Gayle King, Dr. Maya Angelou, Susie Orman, Dr. Oz, Dr. Laura. I've connected by 1 degree to all of those people as well. But, okay, tell us quickly, because this podcast sounds fantastic. There was a fictional host, Margaret Penelope Taylor, is Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's biggest fan. Pardon?
It's Margaret Penelope.
Pardon me.
Pardon
me. Okay. And she's Marjorie Taylor Greene's biggest fan. The podcast is written, produced, designed, performed by a group of concerned citizens who hold these truths to be self-evident. Women's rights are human rights. Fox News is an existential threat to our democracy. And 3, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a national embarrassment. So we'll delve into your past. But tell us about this and where the idea came for this.
You know, it came very recently when the leaked SCOTUS decision came out back in May. I am semi-retired. I've been in radio for 20 to 30 years.
Yes. And
was enjoying my life. And when you know, I'm postmenopausal, so my ovaries are all dried up and
right.
I don't really worry about getting pregnant, but I have 2 nieces who are fertile.
Right.
And when that leaked decision came out, I just became utterly enraged.
Wait, you mean to say that you care about people other than yourself? Is that what you're saying? Even though your womb is a dry and rocky place that where no man's seed can find purchase, you...
Precisely
Okay.
that. Dry and rocky, and there are webs in there, Stephanie. I'll tell you.
Sure. Oh, it's like mine. There's barroom doors.
You guys could have a
there's tumbleweeds. There's cactus. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so my nieces are of the birthing age, and I adore them. And so this was really when I heard that, it was just I had to add my voice to the fight. And Stephanie, you and Travis and your team has just been doing a spectacular job. And you know, over the last couple of years, it's like nobody is really breaking through in any way other than via comedy. So,
right.
You know, you are able to expose the far right for who and what they are. Stephen Colbert has done an amazing job.
Jon Stewart.
Right?
Oh,
like, my God.
And we're all the comedians. We're all just like, all right, we'll do it. Jesus.
We'll do it. We'll throw ourselves on the cross. You know, I would say John Oliver has just been spectacular.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Beth Lapidus, who is a friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
And
a goddess.
I think you can't argue with crazy, so you have to just expose it. And so we came up kind of with a construct for Thorn in the USA. And she is Marjorie Taylor Greene's second cousin once removed, but nothing. I haven't proved that through DNA yet, but she is the Marjorie Taylor Greene whisperer.
What? Okay, but Corny, what's the line, funny and sad? Because you saw that she is actually being, thought of for vice president on a Trump ticket. And so things that you cannot write in a comedy, you're like, oh my God, this could actually happen. She could actually be the vice presidential.
So that's why we're describing it as a satire within a satire within a satire that is our democracy.
Right. I'm trying to imagine how fast my dad and Goldwater would spin in their graves if Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene are the ticket in 2024.
Oh my Lord! If it's a ticket, well, for one thing, my podcast is going through the roof. Am I right?
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You tweeted. You love all the same people we love. You tweeted, support John Fetterman, a Pennsylvanian from Pennsylvania, running for a Senate seat in Pennsylvania. What a novel idea! Yeah.
Novel.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, isn't he spectacular?
He is great.
He is the salt of the earth. He is truly organic and wonderful, and I love him. And the same is true with Curtis in Georgia, who is fighting against the awful Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I just saw Mandela Barnes for the first time on TV. He is fantastic in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I hope it's Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think Ron Johnson is eminently beatable.
Yes, I think so too.
But yeah, Fetterman, I always cite my favorite that someone's like, hey, Fetterman, are you just going to post your way into the Senate? And he's like, well, we're sure going to try, son.
It is so satisfying to me how much he is trolling Dr. Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is every post he does, it's just like, it's cathartic. It's
Corny,
cathartic.
We will bond on this because we've been talking about the Alex Jones stuff. First of all, his financials coming out that he makes, I don't know, $165 million peddling pure lies and bull supplements, just like Dr. Oz. But we were talking about how it's all one story. Trump, Oz, Alex Jones, they're all grifters and con men, and they're selling bull. I mean, it's extraordinary how many suckers there are that buy it.
Yeah, exactly. One of the episodes that we do, we draw a straight line from Sarah Palin to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
I think you can see.
Sure.
It's just unbelievable. They're all cut of the same cloth, and they are all incredibly destructive. Stephanie, I mentioned to you that I went back to Michigan this last week. I'm from Michigan. And so all of my relatives in Michigan, they are very conservative, as is the way in Michigan. But they're conservative, they're Republican. They cannot stand Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
They see the far right as being so incredibly destructive. So the podcast is kind of fun in that, it really is kind of galvanizing, hopefully, us in the middle. And I am following in your footsteps, saving democracy, because that is now our calling.
Thank you. Well, we were saying that shut up and breed is not the winning message that Republicans thought it would be in 2022 based on Kansas, right? And it's right. Total abortion bans are not popular even with conservatives. So, I feel this blue tsunami building. I don't know about you, but you got to talk to me about Dr. Oz. So you executive produced for Dr.
Executive produced. Okay. So I was the executive producer for Oprah Radio when they launched. Initially, it was called Oprah and Friends in 2006 on XM, and then XM and Sirius grew together, and I oversaw that whole channel. And so, I had a lot of interactions with Dr. Oz. We also took his show on the satellite, and we took it terrestrially as well. Right. And he was lovely. I really have nothing negative to say.
As a doctor, he's on record saying it is not a heartbeat at 6 weeks. But now, what happens to these people, Corny, where they have to become right-wing, science-denying lunatics, even doctors like him?
Right. And just bending over for the former guy is just a stunning. I never would have seen it. And another person that I EP'd for was Lisa Oz. So when Mehmet had a show on the Oprah channel, Lisa Oz did as well, and it was a weekly show, and it was very spiritually oriented. Right. And for it, I can't fathom being super spiritual and thinking, okay, 100% against abortion is a good thing. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's like Trump
and it's sad, and that's why we got to fight back.
Well, okay, our 1 degree of separation. I worked for Oprah twice. For Oxygen Network, and I co-hosted every Wednesday with Gayle King on the Oxygen Network. You also EP'd for Gayle King, who we both said is the loveliest person ever.
Loveliest.
Yeah.
The most gifted talk radio host that I have ever worked with, and I've worked with a lot. But she is you got to switch on Gayle. You turn her on, she can entertain you and make you laugh for 10 hours straight.
The best stories were before we went on air on Oxygen, and I got like the best stories ever. Oh, including the one I'm not even sure if I was supposed to share it, but it's still the best story ever. It was funny. When Oprah was trying to get her library back from Oxygen Network, Oxygen executive actually said to her, I don't know, can we see tape? I swear to God, hand to God, Gayle told me. Someone said, which would be funny even if Oprah didn't own the network. Right. It still would be funny. I'm Oprah Winfrey. Perhaps you know my work. Because they wanted to know what show she was pitching, which became Oprah after the show. Right. That's how she got her library back. But come on. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then I went to approach Oprah and Gayle at a fundraiser for Obama at Oprah's place, and Oprah's guards went, not from behind, don't approach Miss Winfrey from behind. And I said, but I'm friends with Gayle. Gayle, tell them, hi, Gayle, I'm friends.
Gayle, I enjoyed working with Gayle so much. Yeah. It's funny talking about her gift of the gab on her final show. So they took our radio show and then they started shooting it for the Oprah Winfrey Network, right? So then they made it into a TV show. Right. And her final radio show, I took kind of a script that I usually do, which kind of just bullet points what she talks about. Yeah. It was completely blank. I put it in front of her, and then we were live. And she's all, Corny, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, talk like you always do,
Right.
Gayle. And it was probably one of the most entertaining 2 hours that, with absolutely no plan. She just started telling stories and we were laughing our asses
The best
off.
episode of Ari Melber lately was she happened to be somewhere he was filming and she's like, "Hi, Ari." And she just went on the show by accident. It was fantastic. The other one, Dr. Laura, I started with Dr. Laura at KFI here.
Yes.
Now, did you start like screening for her, and did you ever tell anyone, hang up now, don't. Like, you know what I mean? Because the people that went, I don't know, my boyfriend's still an addict, but I got pregnant by him. Is that okay? I'm like, no, hang up now.
Back in the day, like in the 90s, she was actually very talented and funny and self-deprecating.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I knew her. Yes, I know. I worked with her. Yeah.
And then back to the ego thing, it's just like she kept growing and kind of drinking her own spew, and then she just became awful. But yes,
she was my mentor of sorts at KFI. I was a little tiny baby radio talk show host.
I was too.
Yeah.
We were in opposite corners sucking our thumb, avoiding her.
What about Dr. Angelou? She had to have been amazing to work with.
She was a spectacular human being. She was just fantastic and lovely and funny. She was so funny. I remember her executive producer at Oprah Radio was a woman named Rita Wack. And I said in front of Dr. Maya, I said, "Is your producer Dr. Wackadoo?" And she laughed so hard. And to have Dr. Maya Angelou laugh at your joke just is so wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
that was one of the greatest experience working with and for her.
Wow. I only had one conversation with Oprah. She came in the room, and then, the Red Sea parted. She was in front of me suddenly, and I think I fell on the ground and just did some funny, whatever, and she just said, "Get up." That was it. That was pretty much, and then I said, Oprah. So that was the extent of my contact with Oprah. But
Did she say, "Get up, Stephanie"?
I don't, I don't remember. It's all a blur.
Okay.
At least there was some familiarity if she said
Right.
Stephanie.
Yes, right. Well,
Yeah.
she was aware who I was.
That you existed.
I remember the first time when I started working at Harpo, and on the phones it popped up Oprah Winfrey. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said hello, and she said, "Are you afraid that the principal is calling you?" I said, "Yes, I am."
You did your Mary Tyler Moore impression? Is that what that was? Oh, yes. Oh, this is... All right. Listen, Thorn in the USA is the podcast. I assume you get it wherever you get your podcasts, correct?
Yes.
Wherever you get your podcast, just Google Thorn in the USA podcast, and it'll pop right up.
Well, I can't believe it took this long to meet you. Thank you, Beth Lapidus, and come back anytime.
Yes.
Thank you. I love you guys. Really, you're spectacular. You're doing the Lord's work.
Well, Chris is an atheist, so whatever.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Chris, it's okay. Take it.
He's just doing some
the
guy's
Lord's
work.
work, whether you admit to it or even know it. You're doing the Lord's work, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Corny.
Thank you, Corny. We'll see you next time. There she goes.
I love you guys.
Bye.
All right.
There goes Corny Koehl.
Yeah.
Thorn in the USA.
That's right.
Ow.